We have to hope a copy of Andrew Bacevich's new book makes its way to Barack Obama. He could use a dose of the reality served up in his pages, a reality quite contrary to the book the president has been waving around in public for all to see. This book, The World America Made, by Robert Kagan. Kagan's a well-known figure inside the Beltway, that matrix of think tanks, policy intellectuals, and research centers that have so long and faithfully served to uphold the empire. In it, Kagan dismisses what he calls the myth of American decline and compares the United States to Jimmy Stewart's character in the Frank Capra movie, It's a Wonderful Life. America is to the world, Kagan contends, what Stewart was to the town of Bedford Falls.
To my big brother George, the richest man in town.
Which, without him, would have fallen into unseemly hands and disrepute, as the world would have without America. To think otherwise, he writes, is wishful thinking. Not surprising that President Obama, according to the New York Times, has brandished Mr. Kagan's analysis in arguing that the nation's power has waxed rather than waned. And just who is Robert Kagan? Well, he served in the State Department when Ronald Reagan was president. He advised John McCain in 2008, and these days is Special Advisor on National Security and Foreign Policy to Mitt Romney.
Let me make this very clear. As President of the United States, I will devote myself to an American century, and I will never, ever apologize for America.
Oh yes, back in the late 90s, 6 years after the first Gulf War and 4 years before 9/11, Robert Kagan and fellow neoconservative Bill Kristol founded the Project for the New American Century and signed a letter to then-President Bill Clinton urging him to get rid of Saddam Hussein once and for all by any means necessary. In 2002, Kagan and Kristol wrote a devastating knockout blow against Saddam Hussein, followed by an American-sponsored effort to rebuild Iraq and put it on a path toward democratic governance, would have a seismic impact on the Arab world for the better. Hindsight is 20/20, as the saying goes, and 9 years later we look back and see with perfect clarity how well Jimmy Stewart's America delivered in Iraq. Talk about wishful thinking. So next time President Obama is looking for a book to read, better he pick up a copy of The Short American Century, a Postmortem. In it, several distinguished historians, including Andrew Bacevich, urge us to take off the rose-colored glasses and see the world as it is. It is not a movie. That's it for this week. At our website, BillMoyers.com, you can read a chapter from The Short American Century, a Postmortem, and you'll find some startling statistics about the cost of war. Coming up, the 99% Spring, a new nationwide campaign for working people. We'll talk with 3 of its organizers.
I've loved this nexus of labor and community that actually when